Right, welcome back to David Let Go to Hobbies. This is about trucking, this video, and it's about approach braking. Right, I don't know you, but you might get to know me. And what I'm going to say is this: it depends on how much you want to learn, how much you want to increase your ability to become a safer driver. Why do I say this? Because don't become one of the screwdrivers out there and become an absolute idiot. Right, that's out of the way. Now, it's about learning the skills. You want a safe approach speed. Right, if you can drive a car, right, you don't go herring up to a roundabout and expecting to be able to stop at the last minute, do you? Cars and trucks are totally different. Cars can stop a lot quicker than trucks, and trucks won't. And when you get a car that pulls in front of you and anchors up, it's, I know, I've had it done to me deliberately. And I was driving a double decker at the time. He thought it was clever. I hit him at 20 miles an hour. He went boing. And long story cut short, it was a slam-on case. Police were called and so on. But anyway, long story cut short. Right, safe approach speed. Now, let's say it's a dry day. Alright, you can brake later because the road surface has got a good adhesion to it. If you're driving in wet weather, take your time. You can't do the same driving in wet weather. You're losing traction when you accelerate, and you're losing braking efficiency when you decelerate, when you brake. Alright? So the nitty gritty is this: have the right attitude. You're not going to drive your HGV vehicle, like a flipping race truck driver, are you? No, you passed your test. You was taken out on a course to learn how to drive it. Don't tell me you've forgotten. So what you've learnt is the basics. But advanced safe approach speed is the golden rule, right? You're approaching the exit to the motorway. In other words, you're coming off the motorway. There's 300-yard markers. 300, 200, 100. Blue background, white chevrons. 3 slashes. Alright? That denotes hundreds of yards. I indicate to come off at 300 yards. No later. And then I start slowing down. I use the full exhaust brake, engine retarder, to slow the vehicle down. It depends if you're heavy or empty. If you're empty, you don't have to use such. You can leave it a little bit later. But it's about if you're fully freighted, half loaded. Yeah? Because the weight will push you forward. Now, use common sense. This is what it boils down to. You see a roundabout coming up, slow down. As soon as you've got the information in, let's rephrase that. As soon as you see the information, in other words, as soon as you see a roundabout, as soon as you see a set of traffic lights sign, you might not be able to see the traffic lights because you're going around a bend, but you can see a sign saying traffic lights, slow down. Not hard, start taking the exhaust brake on. Yeah, anticipation could be cars around that corner, stationary. Yeah, so you're coming down a hill and you see a sign, half a mile roundabout. Yeah, and it's on a curve, it's downhill. So the disadvantage is going downhill, the momentum of the truck will want to push you down. Right, the load of the weight of the truck, yeah, will push you down that hill. So you got to anticipate that it's going to do that. So what you need to do is read the road again, but going back to safe approach speed, use common sense. It boils down to bringing your speed down as soon as you see the sign. You can see a roundabout up ahead, right? Ease off the gas, ease off the accelerator, same thing, right? Bring it down one notch. So you're bringing your speed down. It adds to fuel economy as well, because when you put that retarder in, it cuts off the fuel supply to the engine. When you start braking, or when you take your foot off the accelerator, it cuts the fuel supply off. So you're saving fuel, benefiting your company, benefiting wear and tear and pollution, right? Going back to safe approach speed. It's your anticipation. Get it right. In other words, when you've got the information, act on it. Don't be a twat and pull the exhaust brake on when you're half a mile away on a flat road. All you're going to do is piss people off behind you, because you're going to slow down far too in advance. Right? What you want to do, if you're going uphill, you use the hill to slow you down. Right? You don't have to go up to the roundabout, brake just before you hit the roundabout. It don't work like that. Think about it. Use what you've got. You've got a hill, yeah? Safe approach speed to a hill is you're coming off the dual carriageway, the slip road goes up a hill, yeah? Bring your speed down a little bit, right? On the exit of the carriageway, right? And you use the slope of the hill to slow you down with a little bit of retarder, but you can judge the times you do it how much you will need to use. If you think you're going too fast, err on the side of caution. Act and drive safely. So there we go. Safe approach speed can vary to different situations, but it's down to you to read the road. I'm not having a go at you, but you got to use common sense. I'm not telling you off, but all I'm trying to do is educate you to think and read what's happening. Read the signs. Use what you've got to hand, what knowledge you've got. And if you've been down that road, you know what it's like. But in my next video on braking, a safe thing, safe braking and advanced driving and stuff like that. This all comes into it. But safe approach speed, it varies to different situations. Okay? If you're driving down a road and you've got no signs, but you don't see round the bend, drive at the speed that you can stop at. In other words, don't drive that round that bend if you don't know what's round it and you can't stop safely. There you go. A lot of information there. You might want to play this video a few times, because at the end of the day, it might just save your bacon, or your ass for that matter. So just think about what I've just said. Watch the video a few times, because there's a lot to take in there. Any questions, again, leave a comment below, but please like, share and subscribe. So hopefully safe approach speed, and you understand about it now a bit better. Use what you can use. In other words, the engine brake, take your foot off the accelerator. If you're caught out, use the fully exhaust brake, drop it down a few gears and use the braking at the same time. But you got to remember, if you're reading the road, paying attention, The golden tip for you here, give it 110% concentration. Alright? Don't listen to your radio through earpads. Don't listen to people talking to you. Concentrate what you're doing. In other words, don't use the bloody mobile phone. Alright? Because at the end of the day, too many people are getting killed by it. Right. We'll leave it at that. As I say, a lot to take in, some good advice, practical advice, and some good information from David. Hopefully, this might just save your bacon. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next video.